Hello, everybody, and what's happening? My name is Sonja Marie with Wordlife Astrology, here to give you some Western astrology transit information, okay? All signs are welcome. Yep, so pull up a chair, sip on some juice, some wine, whatever makes you feel comfortable in this moment in time, and learn you something. What's going down this week? Today is Monday. It's December 2nd. What? 2024. Where did the year go, y'all? I can't tell it. I can't tell it. I'm glad we're here, though. You here, you alive, we made it through, and I can't wait for 2025. How about you? Listen, a few announcements before we get started. Yes, and very yes, it's holiday season. Now, listen, I have my own controversial opinions about these holidays that are about to come up. However, some never, I do know it always feels good to give a gift. So if you didn't know, I wrote a book called The Signs, an astrological memoir. Yep, it's only $19.99, y'all. Go on over to Book Baby to Amazon and purchase your own for yourself, for your daughter, your son, your niece, your nephew, your grandmama, whoever is interested to know what astrology really is about and how it shows up in our daily lives. This particular book is about me and about the stories that I have gone through throughout my life that inhabit astrological information. It's so dope. You know why? Because all of us are all signs, all 12 in our chart. Yes, we are, y'all. So get the book and see how I relate that to our lives, okay? The second announcement is I would love for you to join me here on YouTube, Sonja Marie's Wordlife Astrology page. For what? We're doing a live Mars reading special on Wednesday. Yes, Wednesday, right here. At 5 p.m. Pacific time. It's live, y'all, and I'm reading 5 people who have already signed up. It's already sold out, so unfortunately, you cannot attend, but you can come and learn you something. You can come and be a spectator. I am going to give out general information for everyone who attends, so you'll get some good info for sure. And if it hits you right deep in your heart, you are invited to donate and share with your sister, because I absolutely deliver this information from my heart to you. I do. All right, let's get on down into the week. I pray your family day last week was awesome. And I know as we ride into this week, it's a whole different vibration. You ready to go? Today, being Monday, the moon is in Sagittarius. That's always a good thing. We just had a new moon in Sag on Saturday. I hope that worked well for you and some new adventures came in your life. But as the moon continues to be in Sag today and partly tomorrow, not all the way, but a little bit, a couple of hours, right? The moon in Sag, again, offers up some adventure, offers up opportunities to seek out information that you can utilize as a resource, right? Sagittarius energy is all about seeking in order to understand. Sag energy is also about being the student and the teacher. So if you want to learn you something today, do that thing, like for real. Like honestly, explore and expand who you are from an emotional space, but absolutely from the knowledgeable space, right? Combine the two. Get excited off of what it is you learn. Today, there's one aspect that I wanted to pull focus. Venus will trine Uranus going retrograde. This is a big deal because even though Uranus is retrograde, and when planets are retrograde, it kind of takes the edge off of their power, so to speak, or their meaning. But even though it is retrograde, Venus is going to get a little bit on it. And when Venus is trining Uranus, what it's saying is that all the changes in our world, all the things that are being mixed up, all the things that we are literally pivoting from. I don't want to do this anymore. I need to do that. All the things that seem somewhat erratic and it doesn't have a real placement and or a definition in our life, we're finding value in that. Yeah, there may be times where very organized people today may feel a little out of sorts, right? Because there's a newness, an appreciation, a worthiness that comes from being slightly splayed. It's almost like being a child today and having things just go disarray, meaning like you're Appointments get canceled today. Mercury is retrograde. So a lot of changes happening with Uranus. Your appointments get canceled. People don't deliver your money on time. Again, things are splayed all over the place. You don't necessarily have a handle on things. When Venus is aspecting this energy, this erratic, changeable energy in such a favorable way, it says, yo, look at how you can appreciate the things. Sometimes it's like about being a child and not necessarily knowing what the day is going to bring, but going with it, knowing that it's filled with love. Each step is bringing you exactly what it is that it needs to bring you. Harbor in on that, especially for the controlling folks or the folks that want things to go their way. It's Mercury retrograde. A lot of things may not go your way. So see the silver lining, baby, and all things that are splayed and all things that are changeable and all things that want to get your attention. Just see the beauty in it all. All right? Okay. On Tuesday, like I promised, the moon will be in Capricorn for most of the day. This is when it's time to get serious. Let's get serious. Let's get serious. Let's get serious. Jermaine Jackson, 1986. Probably the wrong year, but I used to love that song. In any case, probably the wrong key too. But don't worry about it. Don't judge me. Let's get serious though. Capricorn energy is really, really serious and disciplined and regimented and very traditional in its own way. Always trying to get to the top. Slightly cold, people say. But to be truthful with you, they're not. Capricorn energy and Capricorn people are really sensitive on the inside. So tomorrow you may come up against a situation, a conversation that you may have with one person who may seems to have their emotions a little bit out of control. So what it calls for when the moon is in Capricorn is for you to control your emotions. You get that? That's the coldness that people misdiagnose Capricorns for having. Capricorns have control of their emotions. They're not cold. They just would rather display their emotions in a way in which they can handle, right? Any kind of reaction or backlash, and in a way in which they can handle the scene and assist people that's around them. So on Tuesday, control your emotions, please and very please. It'll benefit you in the long run. Manage them. On Tuesday also, that moon in Capricorn will sextile Saturn in Pisces. Now, I like that. Y'all know I do, because I've been on Saturn's tip the whole year. The reason why I like this is because if given that example, and if you take possibly a little fraction of my advice and you manage your emotions on Tuesday, it can bring you discipline in your spiritual world. It can bring you discipline when it comes to being compassionate to somebody. It can bring you discipline when you have to forgive another for the 19th time. Like for real. Do it again. And again and again, because possibly maybe this person is worth it. But that day, your managed emotions will allow you to offer up some more compassion, some more freedom, some more forgiveness. You understand? Will allow you to meditate, to get grounded when you need to, so your emotions don't fly off the handle. That's what I'm talking about. Yo, be an adult on Tuesday. That's the real word. On Wednesday, the moon stays in Capricorn for a little while, and that's that Mars live reading special, y'all. So join us, okay, at 5 p.m. Pacific time, right here on YouTube. I appreciate that. On that day, however, with the moon still being in Capricorn, we're going to get some things done. Remember, when the moon is in Capricorn, it's about moving in an orderly fashion. It's not just about controlling your emotions, although that's included. It's about getting some work done and being really serious about that thing. It's about checking the to-do list off and feeling accomplished, right? At the same time, on that day, though, the sun will square Saturn. Now, that's a little interesting because the day before, the moon, the emotional nature for us all, the moon says, yeah, I'm going to sit right nice with my forgiveness. Yeah, I want to sit right nice with my spiritual practices. Well, the following day, your ego might get caught in a bunch. So possibly maybe you forgive a person on Tuesday, and the next day, they could possibly use that forgiveness and that offer of compassion in a very, I don't know, disharmonious way, meaning that they take advantage of it. Someone takes advantage of it and or don't see the value in you offering up a spiritual discipline and forgiving them and being compassionate and managing your emotions. Like, they don't see how hard that took. They don't see how important that was possibly the following day. Just staying with the examples. Well, the sun is about ego. Don't allow your ego to get caught up in a bunch. Now, here's the higher road view. The higher road view is that not everybody is born with compassion like you are. Not everybody sees goodness in people's hearts the way you do. Not everybody wants to see it. Not everybody wants to be soft and tender and really experience life from a space of love and grace and gentleness. A lot of people are very addicted to their trauma. A lot of people are addicted to getting over. A lot of people are addicted to not letting their left hand know what their right hand is doing. A lot of people are addicted to being addicted to working things out for themselves and themselves only. You get what I'm saying? So on that day, Wednesday, there's a probability that your emotions, there's a probability that your ego can get caught up in the fact that not everybody wants to take the high road with you. It's okay, baby. Just ride on that high road. There's many more people on the road that you are. Maybe not in the vicinity that you live in or that you work in, but there's a lot of compassionate people, a lot of people disciplined to God in this moment, a lot of people trying to take the high road. Don't fall flat because somebody else doesn't see the benefits of your high road and the benefits of your spiritual discipline. All right? You got this. Keep your eyes up. Keep your head up. Also on Wednesday, Venus sextiles Neptune. Ooh, I love that. That just felt so juicy going through my body. Venus is about love and passion and possession. Again, about money, about beautiful things. It's sextiling, which is 60 degrees away from Neptune. Neptune is about imagination, about delusion and confusion and drugs and escapisms and dream time as well. But it really is about spirituality as well, and music and art and imagination. Oh my goodness, to have Venus sitting right nice with Neptune is about celebrating the beauty of your beautiful mind, of your awesome imagination. It's about celebrating and being in love with your dream time, with your sleep. Can you be in love with sleeping? Yes. For those who are absolutely passionate about resting in this moment, rest is part of the plan. Understand that, okay? So if you are in a moment in which, especially on Wednesday, where you want to play hooky or you just want to rest, that's a good day to do so. And watch all the beautiful, beautiful colors come out of your imagination when you do so. Because why? We can create from a more relaxed and colorful state of mind. On Thursday, the moon goes into Aquarius. Things get a little pushed back, meaning our emotional nature seems to be a little detached. We concentrate more on our friends and on the intellect, on reading, on speaking, sharing the minds, debating somewhat. Yeah, when the moon goes into Aquarius, it's literally about keeping a perspective on things and not letting things become too emotional before they cloud your senses. Aquarius energy is really, really interesting like that. It doesn't like emotions because it makes them feel, for the lack of a better word, not smart. That's 2 words. It makes Aquarius energy feels unintelligent when emotions run them over. So on that day, if there are some heightened emotions and you feel like a little anxiety building, understand that's just because it's all coming on too strong. Take your time, go relax, go read a book, go get your mind on something else, and then come back so you can deal with emotions from a detached standpoint and see the reality of the thing as opposed to getting caught up in the windstorm, okay? Yeah. That windstorm, possibly maybe, could be created by Mars. Why? Because the moon in Aquarius will be opposite Mars in Leo on that day. Now, oppositions don't scare me. Nothing really scares me. Well, there's a few things. But we won't go into that. It's not about me. But I will tell you this. Oppositions in astrology are actually, they're known to be pulling, like oppositions. You're trying to balance the situation out. One's going one way, one's going the other way. So it can seem a little arduous, a little cantankerous. However, if you find a way to bring balance in the two energies, you can absolutely benefit. How does that happen? Well, with the moon being in Aquarius and us thinking, us being smart, or us connecting with our friends, possibly, maybe, it wants to balance out our energy level. Get this. So if Mars in Leo says, I need to be performative, I need to be out there, I need to show up, I need to do the things. The moon in Aquarius says, maybe you don't have to do so much. Maybe you don't have to extend so much energy. Rely on the moon in Aquarius. Rely on your friendships. As they bring balance on that day, possibly maybe you don't have to expend. Possibly maybe you don't have to extend so much energy, right? And you can rely on the people that deal with your heart. You can rely on the people, your friendships that help you through. You understand? And y'all can share the responsibility, or you can share that Mars motivating, sometimes a little cantankerous itself, energy. You dig what I'm saying? Balance out your emotions and the need to move on that day. Ask for help. It'll work. Also on that day, Thursday, the sun in Sagittarius is conjuncting Mercury in Sagittarius as it goes retrograde. That's a little interesting. Well, on that day, let's just say that Mercury retrograde can go freaking haywire. Why? Because the sun has its eyes on Mercury retrograde, meaning that there's a big old industrial spotlight. The biggest, brightest entity in the sky is putting attention on Mercury retrograde on that day. So Thursday, just be a little cautious about the things you say, about how you hear things, about the plans that you make, about how quickly you are moving. Remember, Sagittarius energy, when it's in Mercury for sure, but Sagittarius energy, period, moves fast. So are you thinking too quickly on that day and saying some things and possibly catching foot and mouth disease because you said too much too fast, or you said the wrong things too quickly? You understand what I mean? The sun is shining on you. So be careful, be patient, you understand? And allow people to show you who they are as opposed to us jumping to quick decisions and or solutions about a thing. All right? You don't want to look crazy on that day, boo-boo. I'm just saying. And also be careful of driving on that day. Accidents are incredibly prone, especially because Sag moves fast. So do yourself a favor and drive 10 miles per hour wherever you go. On Friday, the moon stays in Aquarius, as you know, continuous vibrations of humanitarianism and friendships and just the ability to connect with the brain a little bit better, right? Feel smarter on that day. Well, Friday also, Mercury, which is in retrograde, will square up against Saturn. Talking about fear. So Mercury retro, how we are thinking somewhat backwards and drunk-like and trying not to say the things that we really want to say, but holding our tongue and I don't know how to say it. And oh my gosh, if I say it wrong, that whole mental confusion, so to speak, could possibly hone in, could possibly shut down your disciplines again. Your disciplines are being tested this week, as you already know. This is the second time that Saturn is unfavorably being charged by another planet, which means all the things that we've been building up over the last couple of months with Saturn and Pisces, being compassionate, forgiving ourselves, staying on our spiritual discipline, wants to fight a little bit with the head trips happening on Friday, Mercury retrograde in Sag. So please do yourself a favor. Do not answer to it. Slow down as much as possible and remember the disciplines that got you here. For instance, if you pray 3 times a day because that has been your spiritual discipline, if on Friday you get caught up in your head, get a little confused and a little dizzying, and you only pray once, that's good. Forgive yourself. Be easy on yourself, because that day will have our heads spinning. We need to stay on our disciplines as best as possible. Also, do yourself a favor and be very, very mindful of your fears coming up on that day. Old fears, old tried and true fears that convinced you years ago, that convinced you weeks and months ago not to do a thing or to go another way or to answer to the fear. It wants to come up again, and it wants to get caught up in the weird Mercury retrograde kind of energy and gets kind of trapped in that net. Don't allow it. Okay? The fear that you work through, the courage that you manage to pull up in your soul, within yourself, due to your prayers and your ancestral assistance, need not to fall by the wayside that day. Okay? Don't let the fears take you. Look at them, and say, you know what? I'm so glad you're here. You are reminding me why I should look the other way. Thank you for your participation. You're no longer needed. Adios. That's how you treat them fears, y'all. Saturday, the moon is in Aquarius still, and Venus goes into Aquarius. Yeah. So with Venus being in Aquarius, let me tell you something. It's about love and possessions and money. It's about being a little cerebral about your money too, getting things organized and having a plan for your money. A lot of people think Capricorn energy is good for planning, and it is. But did you know that Aquarius is probably the best planners out of the whole zodiac? Why? Because again, their emotions are attached from any outcome, and they're able to look at things from a very realistic and subjective type of space. I love that about Aquarius energy. It really has a way of separating the two things, reality and emotional conundrums, and allows itself to think about what's the best thing that needs to be done. So with Venus going in Aquarius, it's like, even though our love language may be a little bit detached, even though we may not be uberly affectionate, it's time to find out what people think, those that you love. It's time to find out what gets them going. You understand? What inspires them. Aquarius, Venus in Aquarius is about loving up on your friends a little bit more. Have you been, pulling back from them a little bit? Have you been a little isolated? Naturally, because probably a lot of us needed to be, but reintroduce yourself to your crew. You know what I mean? They need to feel the love on you. That's for ding dong damn sure. And know that you can do this whenever you want. However, never. When Venus is in Aquarius, this is the most opportune time. And it will be in Aquarius until January 2nd, 2025. All right? Also on Saturday, Neptune goes direct. The outside planet that is finally going direct. Well, one of them anyway, which means that possibly maybe those habits, those addictions, those things that we've been holding on to, making us stay in confusion and our escapisms, they can start to fall away. Literally, because with Neptune being retro, we've been taking on the things that have made us feel comfortable in the past that we probably have outgrown. With Neptune going retro, we have been revisiting some dreams that we've had. Yeah, the aspirational dreams as well as our dream time. Have you been visited by any of your ancestors? Not to say that they'll stop, but possibly maybe they won't be as pointed, the messages that is in your dreams by your ancestors. As Neptune is going direct, yes, and very yes, spark that creativity. Those songs, of the poetry, the recipes that you need to come up with for the holiday season, like get it going again. Neptune is all about that creative force. Understand this, it's time to get that pumping. I don't know about y'all, but it's been slowed down for us, sister. Let's go. Let's create the next best thing. Now, Sunday, I was just on Instagram and I was forewarning everyone. Sunday is a watery day. Sunday, the moon is in Pisces, but this is not the clincher. I'm not going to take a lot of time expressing this, but I'm going to run it down real quick. Are you ready? The moon being in Pisces naturally makes us all very sensitive, makes us all relaxed, somewhat, in quotes, not a popular word for me, but lazy, just chilled, right? Somewhat psychic, possibly, maybe seeing things and connecting with ancestors and hearing things, right? That needs to be done from an intuitive level. However, that energy, along with a whole bunch, will square up some stuff on Sunday. The moon will square Mercury going retrograde. The moon will square Jupiter going retrograde. And the moon will square the sun. Not going retrograde. Ooh, yeah. This watery information, this watery deposit of love and sensitivity and compassion and forgiveness and unconditional feels is going up against Mercury retrograde. I don't give a hell how you feel, is what a person may say. Going against Jupiter going retrograde. I don't want them blessings. They don't look like what I need. Do you have it in red or you got it in blue? It's a blessing. Take whatever color it needs to be. And it's also the moon going up against the sun, the ego. When the moon and the sun are squaring one another, it's a really challenging day because our ego, what it is our core needs on that day, is totally different than our emotional need, which can have us feel split, bipolar, a little bit uneasy and imbalanced, okay? So I need y'all to just take your time that day. Be really, really easy on that day. The moon, however, will conjunct Saturn in Pisces. Now, that's a beautiful thing, right? Because if the mind, Mercury, Jupiter, the blessings, the ego, the sun, is getting its panties all in a bunch, at least you can go back to what? Your disciplines, your spiritual disciplines, with Saturn being in Pisces. That's a day to do some tarot readings for yourself, to read, to meditate, to take slow walks, stay out of the way, go to the ocean, any form or body of water in which Pisces energy can be examined and expounded on. And when it is, it ignites Saturn to say, now what work do we need to do around this? It ignites Saturn to say, how can we stay focused and bypass all this other weird electric energy and emotional energy that's happening this day? How can we stay on track? Invite the water, take a bath, drink lots of water, take a water fast that day. Like truly immerse yourself with the loving energy of Pisces so it can keep you moving forward. And in discipline. Did I say discipline? 17 times. All right, y'all, that's the week. Let me go get my cards and see what card we're pulling for this week. You ready? Hold on, I'll be right back. Well, if I didn't say it, I kind of alluded to it. It's time to turn on in this week, y'all, so we don't let any distractions keep us off our square. The woman in this image has a faint smile on her face. In fact, she's just watching the antics of the mind, not judging, not trying to stop them, not identify, just watching, as if they were traffic on the road or ripples on the surface of a pond. And the antics of the mind are slightly amusing as it jumps up and down and twists this way and that, trying to get your attention and seduce you into the game. To develop the knack of taking a distance from the mind is one of the greatest blessings. It is what meditation is all about, really. Not chanting a mantra or repeating an affirmation, but just watching, as if the mind belongs to someone else. You are ready to take this distance now, and to watch the show without getting caught up in the drama. Indulge yourself in the simple freedom of turning in whenever you can. And the knack of meditation will grow and deepen within you. Ashe. I love this message for us this week, y'all, because literally it is about turning in, staying focused on what it is we developed within our soul, within our psyche, within our emotional maturity over the last couple of years, over the last couple of months even. You dig that? So the more you turn in, the more you solidify what it is you've already worked through. Please, and very please, don't allow Mercury retrograde, don't allow these changes to throw you and distract you. Stay focused on what is important to yourself, your heart, your mind, and your soul, okay? How you feel about you, how you feel inside is what permeates through the world and makes this place a whole lot better to be in. That's for sure. Thank you. Thank you for this opportunity to share this information with you. Hopefully I see y'all on Wednesday at 5 p.m. Pacific time, right here on Sonja Marie's Wordlife Astrology page, the live section that is, okay? And I'll share some more info then. Take care of yourself, all right? Be good to you. Know that. Be good to you. I mean that. Adios.